Welcome to PreciousMetalsInvesting.com. My name is Ted Sudol, and I have the pleasure of having as my guest today Paul Mladjenovic. Paul is the author of Precious Metals Investing for Dummies. Welcome, Paul.
Good to be back on a program, Ted. And you know, it's interesting when we talk about gold and silver. There's a lot of discussion lately about some of the notables that we respect in the precious metal sphere when they're talking about charts and things of this nature. And for me, I like to look at the totality of things. I'm basically a guy into fundamentals, but sometimes you're into vehicles. Like, for example, gold and silver comes in a variety of permutations. If you're looking long term, you look at like gold stocks and gold ETFs, or et cetera. There's lots of good ones out there. We should actually do a course about that when we get a chance. But in any case, there's other aspects of it which are very short term focused. Which is the metal itself, and futures contracts tied to these things. So charts are very important. And a lot of folks recently have been talking about how they've been looking at charts, and they feel that as a good setup for either both gold and or silver, and maybe especially silver, that they look like they're basing nicely for a run. And I think it's there. And for me, again, whenever you're looking at the short term, you're not investing, you're speculating. But for those investors out there, the technical aspects I think are good, because at least it gives you a good entry point. Because I like when I talk to other people, when we talk, fundamentals tell you what to invest in, whereas technicals tell you what time. Should I wait a few weeks as it's overbought, or it's oversold, so it's a buying opportunity. So technicals will help you do the timing. Basically, the technicals are tied to the timing, especially in the short term, whereas the fundamentals tell you a lot more. And so therefore, what do I tell people? Both of these things. Look at the charts for good entry points, but if you're going to be the type jumping in and jumping out, that's fine, but recognize you're doing trading, you're doing short-term speculating. And again, nothing wrong with that, but know why you're doing it. Now, for me, I like fundamentals. So when I look at charts, I, believe it or not, like to take a look at long-term charts. Sometimes you see like a 5 or 10-year chart, say on silver, and then what I like to do is this, and maybe we'll do a future broadcast on this, which is one of the great, authorities out there I like is the Silver Institute. Because every now and then, I once in a long while, I get a chance to give them a call, because I don't know if they've finished yet. Because here we are, we're talking this like in April. We're basically doing this broadcast, this interview in late April, and I'm hoping that if I haven't done it already, it could be any day now or any week now. I'd love to see what their fundamentals have been for the year 2017, because that way I can take a look over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Where is, like, say, as an example, where has silver been trending? Because for me, the supply and demand fundamentals, coupled with the appropriate chart, like a long-term chart, will tell you if it's a good. And I think long-term, I've been bullish for a long time, on silver. And for me, I've been stymied by the short-term, and there's been, the last few years have been a brutal bear market in this. And what does it tell you? I think that it's basing for a good move, but long-term, I think there's some strong potential here.
Paul, you brought up a point that I've been making exactly to our audience, because recently I've had some episodes of the Precious Metals Investing podcast with Charlie Nedoss, and we've been talking about the charts, and I get questions from my audience on, well, what are the charts? Why are you talking about them? And you made a good point. The charts are another tool that you can add to your investing toolbox to basically increase the profitability, hopefully. So look at the charts, consider the fundamentals, and make your decisions.
Exactly, and I'm sure in your future interviews with Charlie Nedoss, he'll bring up more finer points about this for those of you who are short-term focused with the metal sector. And as for me, look, couple it with the fundamentals, and you'll have a much better, foundation to make your decisions so that you have a more prosperous future with metals and other vehicles as well.
Well, Paul, thank you very much for being with us today at PreciousMetalsInvesting.com. I'd urge all of the viewers here to listen to the Precious Metals Investing podcast. It's available on iTunes for Apple users. It's available on Google Play for Android users. And make sure you pick up a copy of Paul's book, Precious Metal Investing for Dummies. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Ted. See you next time.